Hey everyone, today is April 14, 2022, and I hope all of you having a great day today. In today's video, I'm going to discuss why I purchased my new 2020 Subaru WRX over getting a Subaru WRX STI. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while now, I originally based my channel on my 2015 Subaru BRZ, which I made more than 300 videos on this channel. And I needed a car that I can have as much fun and mod it, and it would be good for the channel. I was researching for 6 to 8 months on what car I should get, and it came down to getting another Subaru, and it came down to either the WRX or an STI. And obviously I went with the WRX, but what we'll do is we'll head down to my garage right now, and I'll go over the reasons why I picked my WRX over an STI. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video today, and let's get going. So with the WRX and the STI, I was test driving both cars for around 6 to 8 months back and forth, determining which one would be best for me. And what I noticed, the WRX had more of a punch to it at 2,000 RPMs. And it made it more fun just cruising around. And for me, I'm commuting, I'm not really tracking my car as much. I'll do it once in a while, but it was more fun down low. I noticed the stock STI took longer to get into boost, and usually that was more fun when I went on the highway, for example. I can get into it, but just driving around locally, it wasn't as much fun as the stock WRX. The STI has a better steering feel. You can control the center diff. It's more stiff. It's more of a performance car out of the factory. And if you're looking to track your car all the time, the STI is definitely the way to go. But the defining thing for me was the engine. So having this FA engine in this car was huge, considering when I had my BRZ, I was able to learn a lot about it, work on the car, and it made me more comfortable getting the WRX. Even though the steering feel on the STI and the gearbox was a lot better and the springs were more stiff, made for track, I knew I can do a lot of the modifications aftermarket for my WRX. At the time when I bought this, the STI was about $8,000 to $10,000 more, and I knew I was going to be modifying my WRX, and for me, knowing that I have a more modern engine made me feel better about buying this car, and it makes me feel better about working on it and making some power with it. So like I said, when I test drove the STI, it had better transmission, better shifting feel, and it was a lot stiffer. But if you were daily driving the WRX, you're not really gonna notice that. If you were going to the track though with the WRX, or going through canyons or roads that have a lot of turns on it, you would then notice it. But for daily driving, just hooning around, having fun, it won't be that big of a deal. And on top of that, with that $8,000 to $10,000 you paid less for the WRX, you can use that to modify your car and make it your own. Another thing that the STI had that the WRX didn't have from factory was the Brembo brakes. And that was the one thing I wish that came with this car, but I did buy some aftermarket big brake kit for this car, and it will be coming in soon, and I'll post that video once I install the brakes. Like I said, the engine is the reason why I went with the WRX. First, I'm really familiar with this engine because I had the BRZ for 5 years and I was modifying it. And second of all, it's a more modern engine and it is more reliable than the EJ engine. The EJ engine, I believe there was 8 generations of it and it wasn't really changed much. And the amount of problems that you couldn't come up with it, and the amount of people I know that had issues with those engines, it's a lot. And for me, I'm not looking to really track my car. I'm looking to daily drive it, drive around, have fun, make videos. I'm looking to track it every once in a while, not a lot. And if you were looking to track your car and make big power, the STI would definitely be for you. What I'm trying to do is make a reliable around 350 horsepower, maybe a little more on E85, and just have a fun, reliable car to drive around in. I'm not trying to make big power, not trying to make 400 or 500 horsepower. I've seen STIs with big power before, but I noticed the more power you make in those cars, the more issues you'll have. And with the WRX, it can have its own issues too, the more power you make, but I want to be in the zone where I can make reliable power and don't have to worry about anything else. Another thing you guys might not care about is gas consumption. The STI gets pretty bad gas mileage compared to the WRX. On the highway, I'm getting like 28 to 30 miles per gallon on the highway. I know I have a couple buddies with STIs and they're getting really bad gas mileage. And I know these are sports cars, so it really doesn't matter. But with our current condition, with the gas being so high, it's definitely something to think about. And like I said before, when I was test driving the WRX and the STI seemed a little bit more laggy than the WRX. And that's due to the single scroll turbo that the STI has. You get boost later on compared to the twin scroll turbo the WRX has. With that twin scroll turbo, you get a lot of power and a lower RPMs, right above 2,000 RPM. And with that, you can have fun cruising around locally. You don't have to be going too fast to have a lot of fun. And in my opinion, having less turbo lag for me is a lot more fun than having a little bit of lag to build up and go into boost. Another thing I thought about was the Subaru Rumble with the STI and the WRX. So with the STI, you have unequal length headers and you get that classic Subaru Rumble with the EJ engine. With the stock WRX, you have an equal length header, so you don't get that rumble. But I've seen some people put unequal length headers on the WRX, but because it's not an EJ engine, it's not going to be that classic Subaru rumble. If you're looking for that Subaru rumble, the STI is definitely the way to go. But for me, it wasn't a deal breaker. I love how this car sounds. The induction noise is so good, the exhaust sounds great, and the last month of driving this car, it's been awesome. From factory, the STI is definitely more of a performance car than the WRX. But because there's such a big aftermarket support for these cars, give it some power and really make it your own. And in regards to how the STI and the WRX look, there's not too much of a difference. I mean, looking at them, you can't really tell. STI has an STI badge in the back and the signature wing. When I bought my WRX from the dealership, it actually came with the STI wing, and it's color matched and it looks really good. I'm debating if I should get a GT wing for my WRX. Leave a comment down below if you guys think I should get a big GT wing on this car. I've seen it on other cars that looks good, but I'm still debating. There were also rumors that the STI for the 2022 version was going to be switching to the FA engine, but as we know now, the STI is not going to be the same from now on. And honestly, that is really sad, it is. But if you're looking to get an STI, now is the time to get it. Get a 2021 or older, because from now on, they're not going to be the same. In my opinion, the WRX with the FA20 engine is best for daily driving because the car is always in boost and it's always eager to go. With the STI, you do have that lag, so you have to be going at a decent speed for higher RPMs to get into boost until it builds up. But this car, just cruising around, daily driving, you can have a lot of fun. Another thing to consider as well is insurance cost. Insurance for the WRX and the STI, they are not the same. Insurance for my WRX, I'm paying about $110 through Geico, full coverage. If you get an STI, my buddy, he's Geico as well, he's paying around $220 for insurance. So if you're looking to save money for insurance, WRX is definitely the way to go. And with that money, you can either save it or put it into more modifications. If you're looking to get an STI, you definitely get better performance from factory. You can adjust the center diff, you get a better gearbox, better shifting, and you get a stiffer suspension. And with this, you can make bigger power with that EJ engine, but with that comes more problems. So the most common things that come up with the STI is the valve cover gaskets, the rod bearings, and you get the ringland failure. These things are prevalent with the EJ engines, with, like I said, with lower and higher horsepower cars. And I have a friend who has a 2019 STI, did minor bolt-ons to the car. It was right above 10,000 miles on the car, and he had a ringland failure and the car was bricked after that. And it was a whole issue because there was mods on the car, the insurance wouldn't cover it, and he was stuck paying out of pocket for this. And this is a very common thing I've seen with the EJ engine. And I know if you do things right, you shouldn't have that problem, but there's always a chance that this could happen when modifying an STI. Whichever car you go with, you can't go wrong with either. They both have pros and cons to them, but for my needs, I think the WRX was the best choice. For me, it was cheaper to get, insurance is cheaper, gas is cheaper, and with that, I can get more mods for the car. And with that, I have the turbo that makes boost at lower RPMs. I can modify it, make it my own, and with that, it's a fun car to drive daily. And like I said, I'm going to track my car every so often, but it's going to be more of a daily driver car, hooting around, have fun. And like I said, I want to make around 350 reliable horsepower with this FA20 engine. And with that, it's going to be a lot of fun. Alright, so I'm going to end this video right here, and don't get me wrong, I love both cars. I know I said a lot of things about the STI and the WRX, but like I said, I put a lot of thinking into this. It wasn't a last minute choice to get this car. It was months and months of going back and forth from the pros and cons of both cars. But like I said, for me, I think I made the best decision. So please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please leave a comment down below what you guys think of my reasons why I bought my WRX. And if you disagree, please leave a comment down below and let me know why. And remember, I respond back to every single comment I get. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Fearless. We'll be right back.